YouTube, welcome to another episode of Can They Beat DLC for Season 2. This will be episode 12, which also technically most likely will be the technical season finale because, well, I'm willing to bet that next week on the 4th or 5th we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct and where we'll see character 4, and you know, we're here to talk about that. Direct possibly happening has been hinted by insiders, and it's the easiest direct to predict. They normally do a direct before TGS. TGS happens this year on the 11th of September, which moves the direct up, has to be earlier than that. Yes, last year and the last 2 years Nintendo Directs in September have been on the 12th and 13th, but again last year was delayed because of an earthquake in Japan, so we are in fact getting most likely the Direct here and in September. And yeah, expect the announcement maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on if it's the 3rd or the 5th. So that's a plus. So today's episode is going to be about Cuphead, but before that we also have another piece of news. There was a leak that happened, and it's a leak that is from Redacted. And before we get into that, there is a comment about that leak, so I'll discuss that in the comment part of that video. So you want to skip forward, it's probably going to be like, I don't know, I don't even know how long it's going to be because I, again, just freelance these things, and I'll put it in the bottom of the screen right here, like when you can skip to see the comment on the effing leak that happened this week. I'm gonna say if it's in here, if the leak is true, F every YouTuber that made a thumbnail and discussed the character freely, and F the guy that leaked it. And also, if you know that leak, I'm just gonna say Nintendo, Sakurai really need to work out on how to work on the hype cycle, because Jesus Christ, Ultimate's hype cycle, both in the main roster and DLC, when it comes to the final characters, has been terrible. But anyway, today's topic is Cuphead, and can the Cuphead be DLC for this season, next game? I don't know. So first, let's talk about potential of the character. Cuphead has an insane amount of possibility for a moveset. Now sure, most of it comes from basic shots. But like he can have, like you already have the up air, and like not the up air, the neutral air. We already have, maybe even we could consider be the down B. Some moves will obviously have to be invented, or brand new moves invented for Smash, because unless you want to do just all of it as just a shooting, probably won't work. But like even some of the supers could be translated into down or specials or something. Like down B could just be, what's the name of the green? I have the game and I've almost beaten it. There's one green weapon that's what's the name of it? Damn it, I'm drawing a blank now. But if you play the game, there's a weapon that grants you, if you shoot it, it targets your opponent. It's a basically homing weapon. I forget the name of it right now. But if you use your special, instead of like creating a massive attack, a massive blast, which probably would be the neutral B, would be the regular shot, with the charged shot being the biggest one, although that would be press and hold, which would be weird, but still. Then again, Mega Man kind of has that as the side B, so or side smash, so probably that would be the side smash, would be the charged shot. Instead of having the special man, instead of being that, or a massive version of the attack, it would be like, it will be surrounding you, like some shots would be surrounding you, so that would be a neat way to do it, to get the character to have it, that would be its down B. Like the parry system could work very well for a neutral air, even granting you like the ability to have multiple jumps in the air if you parried it correctly. Like if you pressed to attack in air, to do your nair in the air perfectly timed, it would like make you have another jump, maybe even granting you a dodge or something. Be interesting, or like reduce the time that you can, or increase the time. No, it would work maybe like you hit it and you have it's like you had an extra jump, not that it gives you an extra jump, which would be interesting to see, I guess. But yeah, and like Mugman could also work very well as an echo or a costume. If it is DLC, it's gonna be a costume. There's no echoes in the DLC as of right now. And if they're not in it with the character, I doubt they'll be in a Season 2 pack, for example. But the possibility of him being in, well, he's one of the indies that has been growing in popularity recently. He had an incredible launch on Nintendo Switch. It did well, and I believe it's still doing well on PC, Xbox One, and Switch. So it's a possibility. It's one of the characters that has been growing more and more in following and in hype. Can he be? Well, if we go by the character that's allegedly going to be DLC for Smash, the leaked one, it definitely would have a shot. The character that is in DLC right now, I've come into discussion in the past in these videos. I didn't realize how little it actually was as a franchise. I thought it was bigger, and Cuphead alone has probably almost beaten most, if not all, of the games, and almost beaten all the games combined. I know the series now has, I know the sales data of that series now, and it's pretty shocking if it's true. How low it is, it will be like the third lowest selling franchise from third parties in Smash, only ahead of Banjo-Kazooie and Bayonetta. And Bayonetta has had two games with the third coming, and we don't even have definitive numbers for Bayonetta. And then we have Banjo-Kazooie, which had 2 games in the 90s, in the late 90s, on the N64, a GBA game, and Nuts and Bolts, which wasn't that popular. So it's a thing. But can it be? I probably don't think it will be. I think that they are below Shantae, I would say, in the wants of like what would be a requirement basically for the indies. I think that the first indie character in Smash should be either Shantae or Shovel Knight, maybe one of the two. If both of them would be great as well, like in the same trailer. If none of them, well, Shantae doesn't make it as DLC, which is now, if the leak is true, is starting to seem unlikely. But for next game, for the character in the next game, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And for the DLC for next game, even more. Depending on how, of course, if there is a sequel to that game and it keeps on going. If it's just a one and done, we really don't know. So that will be it for the part of the Cuphead part. So let's get on to the comments, starting with Terry Servenson that said, LOL is short for laugh out loud. That's a lie. LOL stands for Luigi over there looking thick. But, and jokes aside, did I really have a brain fart in the last episode where I said I didn't know what LOL meant? I don't think did I? See, this is what you get when you play a lot of video games and don't get outside too much. Your memory starts to fake up too much. I don't remember if I did, but if I did, wow. Jesus Christ. But anyway, from what I've seen, the recent Professor Layton game doesn't even have Professor Layton himself, but rather his daughter as the star. Yeah, that is true. It's now Catherine Layton, I believe that's the name of her. I believe her name, and I believe it's in the title. It's Catherine and something, and the Millionaire Island or something, or Mysterious Island. It came out recently in Japan, I believe, or it's in development right now. It's weird. I forget. I could see I could maybe see Professor Layton getting in as a spirit or a Mii costume, but nothing more than that. In regards to Cuphead, I see Cuphead and Mugman getting in as a Mii gunner costumes and maybe some spirits. We could see the Cuphead, I forgot to talk about spirits and costumes. Maybe they'll get in with when Banjo does in probably late September. We don't really know when they're coming. Banjo-Kazooie is coming, so you know it's a weird one, but it's possible for me costumes. For Layton, I think he, alongside the character that's allegedly DLC, should be characters in base game. If they're gonna be in the game, they should be base game. I don't feel like they are big characters. They're well known, but at the same time they're like C tier in a way from when it comes to third parties, and I feel like in base game Layton would do well. Right now, DLC, if the rumored character is in, then I don't know, 5 either is gonna break, it's gonna be hype as hell, or it's gonna fall crash and burn, honestly. If character 4 is the one that it is, I could see, we probably could go lower than that, but I guess it could happen. Then Obese Rob said, Hero getting banned over randomness is dumb, and he isn't the only character with one hit kill. I completely agree with your stance, especially on the language barrier. It's one thing, I heard a lot of pros talking, like the language barrier is the only one I could potentially see as a real thing because of like different people talk different languages. But still, it should be like, if you're gonna go to a different country, at least learn something. If you're gonna play competitive, learn. And I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, you shouldn't learn the name of the character if you have no chance of playing it. It's like, sure, but you also have a very low chance of playing Bowser Jr., but you still should know how Bowser Jr. works. And when it comes to text, you already learned so much. You have so much shit memorized in your brain as a competitive player or even a regular player that you should already know. Like, I have an amount of information about Pokemon in my brain that I probably, if on the top of my head, I probably don't know. But if I started playing a game and like a Pokemon appear, I'm like, oh, I know what it is. And, you know, you should at least know something. It's one of those things, it's weird. If you're gonna go to a different country, even, like, I'm Portuguese. If I wanted to play competitive game, to play Smash competitively, I cannot play it in Portuguese. I have to play it in English. So if I went to Spain, which is literally right next door, for a tournament, I would still have to learn the words in Spanish for the hero. Although they probably would sound very similar to how they are in Portuguese, but still. And even if there's like, oh, that's too much to ask for a competitive player. Okay, can't the Switches be played LAN? I'm pretty sure they can. Not only that, like, don't players already use 2 TVs? If that's the case, then you can just use LAN, unless the Smash Ultimate doesn't work that way. And if it doesn't, what the shit, Nintendo? It should. So yeah, and then this is the comment about the LAN or the rumor, but I'm gonna leave it to the end because it's probably gonna be a big topic. So at 2506, Square Enix owns all the Final Fantasy stuff in Kingdom Hearts, and that's it. That's why in Kingdom Hearts games, the Kingdom Hearts game Horizon made, there's no Final Fantasy characters. Justin Sharpone in that interview said the only person at Square who will need to consult is Tetsuya Nomura, who is basically treated as a freelancer when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. So, you know, it's a weird thing when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. I think Sora right now, I'm gonna say that something that's kind of dumb given what we have seen with Smash as a whole. I would feel like they kind of sort of seem inevitable. I don't think it's DLC for this game, but definitely maybe even DLC for the next one, depending on how things work out. Personally, I think if they did the Season 2 that would lead up to the next game, which would come out in 2023, 2024, would be brilliant, and more the characters the merrier. But it's a weird thing how they would, like, it would have to be all the original characters as spirits, I guess. If Square doesn't own that, I could see Disney being more leaning towards allowing it, but I still feel like right now, I don't know, it's a weird thing. Then also Beastrop, yeah, I agree with you, Neko being behind Sora in priority. Personally, I feel like Legacy doesn't mean as much for Chrono, as it's basically less popular Dragon Quest in Japan. Meanwhile, The World Ends With You is heavily published by Nintendo, even more than even some of their own games. They're both around as requested. I personally think they would be neck and neck for who Square puts in next. I think who Square puts in next is clearly, it's either going to be Sora or Geno, depending if Nintendo and Sakurai want it. Given the fact that Sakurai already wanted Geno once, maybe. And it's weird. It might be who Nintendo wanted, could be Neko, but at the same time, I could definitely see other characters from Square. I mean, there's not a lot of characters from Square that could make it in without being from Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, but still. But in the same comment, meanwhile, Lara Croft is a bit of an enigma, as she is very important to gaming history, but doesn't translate much to the East from what I've told. And requests are near nothing compared to the other two. That is true, but I also feel like Lara Croft has less of a discussion going for her than Neko, for example, because of, in a way, her limited history with Nintendo. Because let's be completely honest, if Lara Croft comes, if a Tomb Raider game comes to the Switch, or a lot of games from Tomb Raider come to Switch, that's gonna change very drastically. Look at another piece of news that happened this week that I forgot to mention. Overwatch. nobody was talking about Overwatch for Switch. All of a sudden we have the leak that basically confirms that Overwatch is coming to Switch. And all of a sudden everybody's talking about Tracer. And Tracer immediately becomes like one of the things like, oh yeah, she would be neat. We didn't believe she could be it, but she apparently now could be. Overwatch could definitely have a character in Smash. That was a topic that I wanted to talk about in the news segment that I forgot. And so it became very clear, like, yeah, maybe. Like, Joker's another one. Like, if you asked a lot of people, who do you think is the next Sega character? A lot of people wouldn't have said Joker because of his limited history with Nintendo, which was basically Persona Q2 and now Scramble. But people would have been probably some like SMT character, if people remember that SMT is owned by Sega, and probably some other characters. I'm trying to think of Sega characters, like Alex Kidd probably could be a character that people were talking about, like, but mostly people would probably talk about like another Sonic character, which would be interesting. And like Lara Croft, I think the only thing that's missing is recent activity, let's put it that way. And with Chrono, yeah, he's less popular in Japan, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's enough requests for him. I don't know where the two rank on lists and all that stuff, which we should take them as it is, but like, I could still, Chrono is still very popular in requests in the West. Same thing with Geno, but I don't think we're gonna see too much from Square outside of, I don't know, it's outside of Echoes, honestly, and even then, the Echoes would just be maybe the heroines from Hero, I mean, like, if Sora is to be a Square character, if it is to be counted as a Square character, then I don't think any other character has a choice or a margin to be in, because Sora always ranks high on any list of people thinking that he's gonna be in. And even although I don't like the Kingdom Hearts fan base around Smash, not because they're cringe or anything, it's because like they are basically what Ridley fans were when Ridley was confirmed to be a boss battle. Not saying that the anti-Ridleyers weren't bad, because they were too, but like the crowd surrounding Sora is a little bit way too annoying. Like when Joker was announced, for example, you can see an amount of channels that want Sora in, like, oh, Sora's in and it's gonna be in, guys, this is definitely it. And then when Hero was confirmed, people are like, well, I guess there's no reason to expect Sora anymore, because Sora would be kind of a Kingdom Hearts, it's Kingdom Hearts and would kind of be still a Square character, even if Disney owns it. People are like, don't give up the dream, we can still do it, it's still happening. It's like, calm down, this is not how you're gonna get people on your side. People will be fine if you're like, okay, there's still a chance. It's very unlikely, but there's a chance. And I'm like, it's definitely happening, it's gonna happen, this is it, it's a guarantee. Same thing with Steve, honestly. There are characters that I feel like are inevitable, and then people keep on pushing it as the inevitability and just puts people off on it. Sora is one of them. Ridley was one of them for me in Smash 4. And then honestly during Ultimate, I was like, I just want him in to shut people up once and for all. And Sora right now just has most of the fan base on it, and I really went on a weird tangent with that. And then I'll be strong again. More evidence of Square was more than cooperative, and it's a tweet from Nintendo of America from PAX and the panel that was for Dragon Quest XI that said regarding Hero from Dragon Quest 11S in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mr. Sakurai was very passionate and knowledgeable about the series and approached the team. The Square Enix devs suggested adding alternative skins for the heroes from 3, 4, and 8. The end result exceeded their expectations. So I have to call this part, because it was in the panel for Dragon Quest 11, kind of have to call, and I believe these are all three guys from Square. I'm going to have to call a little bit of bull on it. I don't think personally that they suggested 3 to be a part of the costumes. I think, honestly, my opinion is that 3, or Herdrick, was the character that Sakurai wanted. You could see it in the fact that the hero uses a sword and shield. The only character in the reveal trailer that uses a sword and shield is Herdrick. I think the plan was Sakurai wanted 3, and then Square was like, no. Square and Nintendo were like, no. 11's gonna be the main one. He's definitely gonna be it. And Sakurai was like, okay, but can I have 3? And then I'm like, okay, you can have 3. And by the way, put 4 and 8 in there. And I could see like alternate skins could also be for the costumes, honestly. But I believe 4 and 8. I don't believe 3 for a minute, just because of like, it's not the Sakurai move. It's not that it's not a Sakurai move. It's just like, it feels weird. Maybe they suggested it after Sakurai was like, okay, I can only work with 1. I can only work with 11, so let's go with it. Because let's be honest, even in the direct, let's put it that way, if you watch it, the number of times that Sakurai has to mention Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of Elusive Age, Definitive Edition, coming to Nintendo Switch this fall. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, don't make it seem like the character is any more than just a marketing ploy. Give it a little bit of time to breathe, Sakurai. Don't just, oh, okay, Dragon Quest coming on the 27th? Did not know that. Thank you for reminding me for the 3rd time in this 10-minute video. But I could definitely see, like, if it was, they're suggesting it after a while, but can we do it? I don't think it's easy to Square Enix to say that they were helpful. But the developers would be helpful. It's always the business suits that are not helpful in any company. It's always the business suits that, well, sometimes developers are not the best. But the adding 3 is the one that I have more difficulty believing. And then finally, what's your opinion on I Am Shady rumor? So I'm not gonna say the character, I'm just gonna refer to it as redacted from the series, redacted. I've been thinking, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and it's true. If redacted is character 4, I personally want to talk to Sakurai about priorities, because if we go from Joker, a complete surprise that nobody saw coming, to Hero, the character that Japan lost their marbles, and the character that should have happened a long time ago, to Banjo-Kazooie, another character that should have happened a long time ago, that the fan base cannot shut up about it, and a character that would seem impossible for the better part of 20 years because of Microsoft purchasing them, and all of us are like, it would be nice to see it, but we doubt it. To redact it as character 4, I said before, the character 4 needs to level out the hype. Crash Bandicoot, Monster Hunter, Shantae, characters that like, there are like, Shantae has been deconfirmed because of spirits. Crash Bandicoot would be another one of the, it seems unreal that we're gonna have Crash and Mario in the same game, especially after everything that happened in the 90s. And a character that, again, for the better part of the past 20 years has been dead and buried, basically, until very recently being brought back. And Monster Hunter, which Monster Hunter is it's a safe character, it's a safe, boring character like character 4, Alleged 4, but it's a character like, people are like, oh, maybe it should have been in, but since we already have a boss and a stage for the boss, we didn't have it. We probably won't be getting it as DLC, and Capcom already has 3 characters. Yeah, these will be nice surprises. And then character 4 would feel very redundant and kind of an empty, kind of a drop. Let's put it that way. It's kind of a drop. It's not a bad character. Don't get me wrong. It's a character that should be in. Absolutely, in the base roster. DLC, especially after all the characters we've had so far, having that character be revealed in September, for example, and then maybe in the direct, and then not have any new announcements until maybe like January, not January, maybe January. We don't know when the next DLC is going to be announced, but back December, it'll be The only thing I hope from that rumor is true is that we're gonna get a second season, which would be great. I still think we're gonna get one based hopefully more on first party. Nothing against third parties, but like there's characters that are most likely gonna miss their chance to be in Smash that totally should be in Smash because of timing. And characters like Rex, maybe Bleeth from Three Houses, maybe even Astro Chain protagonists, which will probably get a chance next time if if the Astral Chain is successful, which it seems like it could be, you know. And like third parties, like they at any point can be in. Like Cloud is from Final Fantasy VII, and he made it in. Like when was the last time a Nintendo character that still that when was the last time a dead Nintendo franchise or a character from a Nintendo franchise that's really that hasn't been in any games for a real long time without massive fan support made it into Smash? K. Rool counts basically, and even he had a lot of support for a better part of 20 years. So you know, it's a weird one. But yeah, that will be it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Next episode, it's either going to be Season 2, Episode 13, which is going to cover a character that I didn't think was possible up until Monday. And if you heard that, if you've seen the rumors, if you've seen the leaks, you know what it is, which would be the Overwatch leak. So basically, Tracer could be in Smash, so that will be episode either 13 for Season 2 or Episode 2 for Season 3, with Season 3 going around, beginning and next episode being Everyone Revisited Deluxe Edition, going through every character from Season 1 and Season 2 because of a potential Smash announcement. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I've been the Much of the S. See you guys next time.